Hi Darren, how you doing?
I'm good, how you doing?
Excellent, welcome to Street Studios. So tell me a little bit about yourself then. Who are you?
My name is Darren Hodson.
Yeah.
And I'm in a band called the Southern Companion, and we've just done a new record.
Yeah.
Which is called 1,000 Days of Rain.
Okay.
And that should be, I think that should be ready to drop by towards the end of the year.
Excellent, excellent.
It's 11:33, Thursday, Halloween. I'm looking for words to keep me warm. It's 8 days since you left here and 8 years since we met here, and right now this whole place don't feel like home.
So the 1,000 Days of Rain title, where did that come from?
It's a lyric from one of the songs, and it's kind of a phrase that kind of it's been roughly, I don't know, two and a half years since the last album came out, and sort of immediately after that album was done, I went through kind of a tough time. So it's been roughly 1,000 days of rain.
Oh, rather than pain.
Yeah, 1,000 days, roughly 1,000 days of a pretty tough time, but you know, some good, what I think are some good songs have come out of it.
Excellent. So tell me about, I heard through the grapevine that obviously you've had the opportunity to perform in front of a few big bands, so tell me about those support slots that you had.
I mean, there's with Southern Companion, when we did the first album, we opened for Status Quo over on the Isle of Wight. That was cool.
Yeah. And
then there's been another couple of other bands I've been involved with over the years. I mean, the biggest one was a band called the Velvet Hearts. We opened for Bon Jovi at the O2.
Bon Jovi, wow. Okay.
That was back in 2010.
Yeah.
That was cool. You know, and some of the guys, you know, like the drummer from that band now, you know, he now plays with the Southern Companion as well. So
okay.
It's kind of sort of. I joined that band when they were already sort of, you know, been going for a fair while.
Yeah.
And they were kind of pretty much already on the verge of breaking up, I think.
Right.
And that was just the last gig.
Yeah.
Virtually, and it was great. I was really I felt really privileged to be part of it. Bearing in mind I'd only been in the band 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of an experience playing on, you know, at a stage that size, and it's
Wow. How many people were there then? How many did you play in front of?
I don't know how many. I mean, it was sold out, so whatever that whole, I don't know what the capacity is.
Wow.
13,000, something like that, I guess.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
This is the only life I've ever had the chance to know. Something's always been missing, baby, and I try to fill the hole. You know that the big time and the big easy was the only man I cared.
So let's talk about your current album, then, 1,000 Days of Rain. So I understand that you had 8-time Grammy nominated producer Ron Talla in to produce it. So what was it like working with Ron?
Great. You know, totally new, very different to me, very different from what I've done before.
You have this in your hands and you know what it is. What you did before, when we weren't tracking, was exactly what probably you would have liked to have heard back. So the only thing I'd recommend is...
Well, like I said, the way the songs were done, it was different because I didn't have any fast, hard ideas.
Yeah.
Necessarily, well, I did because songwriters always do.
Yeah, of course.
But whereas I always sort of tend to default to a very traditional production way of doing things, with very traditional, classic guitar sounds, lots
Yeah.
of acoustic guitars, and then sort of classics, pianos, whirlies, Hammonds,
Yeah.
and maybe just song based, like almost from how a band will perform them live.
Right.
Ron took the songs and gave them a different kind of more of a contemporary, more modern way of doing things.
Right.
Oh yes.
So I know that on your album that you are the Southern Companion, but tell me a little bit about the mix of musicians that you have on your album, because it's pretty incredible that you got.
Yeah, I mean the difference, I guess, between the Southern Companion is just kind of a name I came up with for the first album.
Yeah.
And which was kind of a solo album, and then I thought the band name would be Darren, Hodson and the Southern Companion.
Yeah.
It's kind of a mouthful.
Yeah.
And because this album, say, is a bit more of we cut it with what's ended up being my live band.
Yeah.
Not ended up being, because what is now the live band.
Yeah.
It's more of a band effort, like I said. The way the songs were kind of put together.
Yeah.
It's myself, obviously. Simon Johnson on guitar. I'm okay. I'm alright. I get by on guitar, but Simon is, he's one of the best guitar players ever, as far as I'm concerned. So I was really pleased to get him on it. Lee Maycock plays all the keys. And Don't Road. Stuart Ross plays all the bass guitar. He's a fantastic multi-instrumental.
Phenomenal bass player.
Yeah.
And plays drums.
Yeah, he does.
apparently, as well.
Yeah, he's great. Ollie Richmond Jones on drums. Ollie's just got something. The way his groove, the way he sits in the pocket.
Yeah.
And I just love playing with Ollie. And I met Ollie by playing the Velvet Hearts. We've got in a few additional musicians to do some bits and pieces. We got on a couple of tracks. We got in Robbie McIntosh.
Yeah.
And
he plays with Tom's Jones bands.
I think he's touring with Tom Jones at the
Yeah.
moment. He was with John Mayer for 4 or
Wow.
5 years.
Okay.
And this is recently, and then you go back. He played with Paul McCartney, and he was in Pretenders. Like I say, Simon's one of my favourite guitar players. But Simon will tell you that Robbie McIntosh is one of the best guitar players in the world. And
Yeah.
because he's local,
Yeah.
which is unbelievable that he's around.
It's amazing.
And so he was a phone call away.
On fiddle.
Ben Gunnery.
Right. Okay.
And again, he was I think Stuart had played with him before, and Stuart recommended him, and he came in and just got it straight away. He just had with very, I haven't got the first idea how to play fiddle, but we just played in the track, and he just went for it, and it was fantastic.
Also, I know that you got one of the Mellotron player from King Crimson.
Yes, Flute and Mellotron,
Yeah.
Ian McDonald, yeah. He's I think a friend of Ron's, the producer, and we were working on one of the tracks that we sort of recut off the first album, called Too Much Was Never Enough.
Yeah.
And when we were kind of figuring out the parts, Lee on the keyboard started playing his Mellotron sound, which I sort of made my ears prick up, and we played it to Ron, and he liked it, and he's like, I know the guy that invented Mellotron, I think it was. so
Invented music.
So we got Ian McDonald to actually recut the part Lee had sort of fleshed out with flutes, and then he embellished it as well, and put his own, and it makes it, takes it from being, I guess, just what it was, just it sort of makes it a very different sounding thing. It's cool.
So what's your plans now? So you finished the album a few weeks ago, and now you're embarking on some sort of campaign. So you've got a few gigs coming up.
Yeah, the album's this close to being done. We've got I think we're just auditioning people to mix it now, and then so that's once it's mixed and then there's all the whole mastering, all that kind of black magic that happens with records, and then it's just a case of then getting the band out on the road with it. Really, I mean that's from that point of view. I'm very I've always been. I think the record should be kind of like an advert. Right. To get people to want to come and see the real thing live, and that's all my favourite bands. As much as I love their albums, when you're going to see them live, that's what it needs to be about. And that's we've got a few little we've got a few little festival dates dotted out throughout the summer, which we're going to do, and then sort of when the album comes out towards the end of the year, then there's obviously the media thing, I suppose. Get it out there try and get it on TV and radio and
sync it up,
as is the modern way. And just do that. Do that same thing, and just try and get people to hear it. That's the thing now, and that's always the hardest part of it. But that's the next plan. For me, I just want to get the band out and playing the tunes in front of people, and then see people dig it.
That's fantastic. No, that's really good. I think we're all looking forward to hearing the album, and when it comes out, we hope. I think you're hoping it's going to be sort of around about sort of August, September time when the album is.
I guess. I mean, that's we're still waiting for. I'm waiting for the label to tie up the date, and then as soon as then once we know when the album's going to drop, we're looking at doing like a launch show somewhere, which as soon as we know where that's going to be and the date, then we'll put details of that.
Fantastic. Wow, well, looking forward to hearing the album, I'm sure.
So am I.
You don't even know what you played on it. So there you go. So thanks very much for coming in, Darren.
No,
I really appreciate it. And so look out for Southern Companion coming to a store near you in the next few months or so.
1,000 Days of Rain.
1,000 Days of Rain.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, dude. Thank you.
No worries.
Let's take a shot at something new. Let's get